Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Israel Michael, and I'm coming to you from LogTech IT Training. And we are offering this special course for you. It's a 5 days free bootcamp online training. And today, for this week, in fact, we are looking at cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Now, the question is, what then is cybersecurity? So in this training, we are going to go through a whole lot. I want you guys to sit back and pay close attention. And if possible, if you have your system along with you, you can join me because it's going to be a very practical journey for these 5 days. All right. So I'm going to go straight into the discussion. I have a slide and I'm going to discuss with us based on that slide. So let's get into the business of the day. All right, so we'll be looking at cybersecurity essentials. Cybersecurity is really broad, cybersecurity is vast, and it is very important we begin from the very foundation of cybersecurity. Okay, and so going on, what then is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity also is known as information security or electronic information security. Now, but before I go on with the definition, in cybersecurity, as you can see on the screen, I said it is also known as information security or electronic information security. So in cybersecurity, we have a focus on what we are securing. We are not just securing human beings, okay? That's the police job. But as a cybersecurity expert, your job is to secure information. In the world of technology today, the very treasure of the cyberspace, the very value that we are all trying to safeguard, trying to keep good, trying to keep connected together is our data. So in this case, cybersecurity is focused on information, or we can say electronic information. So going on, what then is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting our computer systems, our networks, and even our data from unauthorized access, from unauthorized use, disclosure, disruption, modification, or even destruction. Now, this is very, very important. Why did I say so? Because if you look at the keywords, we are trying to protect our computer devices, our computer systems, and even our networks, down from your phone to your laptop, down to your even your smart TV. It is very wonderful to know that even your smart TV can be used to spy on you by a kind of malicious personnel. So in this case, we are trying to ensure that our devices are completely secure, down from our devices to our networks, and at the end of the day, even our data. So the main reason why we secure our devices, the main reason why we secure our network is because we want to ensure that our data is secure. So the data here is the end game. The reason why we secure the computer devices are because of what those devices contain. Your computer device is simply, a machine that can help you to process data. So why do we protect our computer is because of data. Data is the bottom line here, okay? And we are trying to ensure that this data is not disclosed to unauthorized person. It's not disclosed to malicious people. Even our stuff are not modified. Do you know that your laptop, which you can call your PC, your personal laptop, you're like your personal computer, do you know that your personal computer can graduate from just being your personal computer to becoming a group computer? And yes, and how is it possible? It is simply by modification. When your device becomes compromised, the settings can be modified, and then you are no more the only user of that PC. There is somebody else on the other end who is an attacker that can become the extra user of the same PC. So our job is to avoid those kind of stuff. So going on, we are going to look at a whole lot of things today. So please pay close attention. So our next slide, we can see that cybersecurity has a goal. Like I said, in cybersecurity, we are trying to ensure that our computer systems, our network, and on the overall scale, our data are secure. So we achieve that through three fundamental goals or three fundamental objectives. So as a cybersecurity personnel, I believe you are, let's say, a cybersecurity enthusiast, or you want to delve into cybersecurity, or you want to even know how to even protect your data, your system, your network. Cybersecurity has a goal, and this goal is broken down into three parts. And in the cyberspace, we call it the CIA. The CIA simply means confidentiality, number one. Number two, it means integrity. Number three, it means availability. So what then is confidentiality in terms of the cybersecurity objective? Confidentiality here, we are talking about trying to prevent unauthorized disclosure of our sensitive information. Now, it is said that data are generated from users, okay? And these data, they are stored in, things like server, okay? Now, the question is, that data that was gotten from you, that was saved maybe on a server, that is binded up with the website, the thing there is that your data secured? Is that your data confidential? Are you the only one who is seeing what you have saved in there? Sometimes we go to the internet and then we sign up our email, sign up our password, things like even putting in your credit card, your ATM card details. The question is, are those things secured? Are those things private? Are you the only person who has access to those things? Okay, so these are the questions we try to answer and satisfy in cybersecurity. So cybersecurity, like I said, the first objective is to maintain and ensure confidentiality. Okay, we have to ensure that our data remains confidential, remains private, or you can say, I believe you have things like data privacy. Okay, so the goal is to maintain privacy regarding your data. After that, we also want to ensure that our information has integrity. Here, we are trying to prevent unauthorized modification of our system and even our information. Like I said, in the cyber world today, data is the lifeblood of technology. Okay, everything we do in technology is all about either we are processing data or protecting data. That is the idea of computer technology. And we want to ensure that our data remains the way we have kept it. Like our data retains its originality. For example, do you know that somebody can have some money in their account, okay? And that money in their account in today's world is not cash per se, but it's some digital information, some numbers. That money can be modified. And your goal as a cybersecurity personnel is to ensure that this information, which is in this case your money, because right now your money is now information, it's now data, its originality is sustained. Okay, the way you save the money, it remains that way. Someone doesn't just come in and then modifies your account. When I say modify your account, I mean somebody comes in and then moves away with your money. Before you had 100,000, and before you knew it, you are seeing 50 naira. Okay, that is data modification. Your account has not remained the same. So in cybersecurity, we want to ensure that our devices and even our data remains original, remains with integrity. And the third thing there is we want to also maintain availability. So I've mentioned two things so far. I've mentioned, number one, I've mentioned confidentiality. This is very, very paramount, very, very important. I've mentioned integrity. The third thing now is availability. So availability here, we are focusing on preventing disruption of our services and productivity. We want to ensure that any day we want to use our systems, any day we want to use our network, any day we want to access our information, it is always available for us. We have access to what belongs to us. We have access to our data. Do you know that I was paying attention to a statistics by a well-known cybersecurity firm called Sophos, and even a popular one in Nigeria. Okay, they gave a stat that says that the current trend of cyber attacks are called ransomware attacks. Now, what is a ransomware attack in cybersecurity? Just forgive me, I'm digressing a little bit. Now, what is a ransomware attack in cybersecurity? A ransomware attack is an attack whereby the attacker encrypts the data of a victim, and then he requests for money in return for the data. Like in the real world, in the world of human beings, somebody can be kidnapped, and then for that person to be released, you pay some money that is called ransom. Okay, so the word is ransomware attack. That means your files can be kidnapped, your stuff can be locked out, your entire PC. The PC is in your hand, but you can no more access what belongs to you on that PC. And you may see a message on the PC telling you to send some amount of money to maybe a wallet address there, like in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrencies, as the case may be. That kind of scenario is called a ransomware attack, and it's a current trend in the cyber world. And as a cybersecurity specialist or as a cybersecurity enthusiast, your job is to ensure that you prevent, that disruption, that denial of service. In fact, do you know that some people, some banks, some companies, their Wi-Fi, their network can be attacked, and then before you know what's up, everything is shut down. Nobody can have access to the internet. Okay, so we want to ensure that these things don't happen. And the third part of our cybersecurity goal is called availability. We want to ensure that our stuff are always available. So cybersecurity is really broad, and the end game of cybersecurity is, number one, we want to maintain confidentiality. Number two, we want to maintain integrity. Number three, we want to also maintain availability. So going on, the next thing here is I also want to talk about some popular cybersecurity myths. When I say myth, I mean, fallacies, fantasies. There are several ongoing information out there about cybersecurity which are not true. And in this course, for this first day, I'm going to be debunking them. Okay, I believe many of you may have several questions about cybersecurity, and these questions are based on the things you've heard before. Some of them have discouraged you. Some of them have made you to think if cybersecurity is a Herculean task. But I tell you that cybersecurity is not all there is, based on what you see in the movies and based on what you hear on the roadside. So in this discussion today, I want to debunk some popular cybersecurity myths. So let's take a few of them. There are a whole lot of them, but because of time, we are going to look at a few of them. So I have several of them here. Number one is strong passwords are enough. Somebody say, it is very, very wonderful that I have a strong password. My password is strong. Nobody can break my password. Just because your password, of course, it's good to have a strong password, but you see, cybersecurity doesn't only focus on one security measure. In cybersecurity, there are various, measures, approach when it comes to securing your digital environment. Password is one of them. Now, the goal here is you need to understand that your password is not enough. Your password is one of those strategies to maintain security, but your password is not the ultimate strategy. Okay, in cybersecurity, one strategy is not enough. So just saying that your passwords are enough, it's a big lie. Reason, I'll tell you, no matter how powerful your passwords are, you can be engineered to deliver them. Okay, for example, Let's say you are using Wi-Fi, like a wireless network, and then the password of that Wi-Fi is so strong, it is very impossible to guess it. And you only depend on just having a strong password to protect your wireless networks. Believe me, you are at a very big risk. Now, how can an attacker achieve to get your password in plain text? Very, very simple. In ethical hacking, there is an attack called evil twin attack. It's an attack under a category of cyber attacks called network attacks, okay? Or we can say man in the middle attack. Now, in this case, the wireless attack in this case is called the evil twin attack. What is the evil twin attack? The evil twin attack is a scenario whereby an attacker clones the name of a network. For example, your Wi-Fi has a name. That name is called SSID. SSID. What is SSID? SSID simply means secured set identifier. Now, this SSID is the name of your Wi-Fi. That's why when you come to your phone, you click on the Wi-Fi button, you see several SSIDs in quotes, several names, okay, several profile names of your Wi-Fis. You see them out there, and then you click on one of them, you put in the password, and you have internet access. Now, an attacker can create, a fake Wi-Fi. Okay, it can create a fake hotspot, and that hotspot is going to be bearing the actual name of your Wi-Fi. Okay, so he is going to make a duplicate of your Wi-Fi. That's why the attack is called evil twin, a twin that is evil. So he creates an evil version, like a duplicate version of the original. Then that's the first stage. The second stage is that the attacker would, at the end of the day, also shut down the original Wi-Fi. Okay, or we can say de-authenticates every user or every client that is connected to that router or to that MiFi or to the hotspot, whatever the case may be. The attacker will shut down the original router. And you know that your phone is designed in such a way that once you have a disconnection, it will try to want to reconnect again. And sometimes, because the SSID is the same with the original SSID, your phone will want to reconnect. And when you want to reconnect back, you'll be prompted to put in a password. Now, at the moment, you may not think anything. You may be thinking it's network problem. But the moment you type in the password into that Wi-Fi hotspot name, actually, you are not logging into any Wi-Fi. You are just simply giving the attacker your Wi-Fi login credential. And then he can now, of course, release your original Wi-Fi. And then you may think it's a network glitch. You reconnect back and you're fine, but your password has been leaked. So strong passwords are not enough. Just because your password cannot be guessed doesn't mean your password is enough to secure you. Okay, so that is a myth I want to debunk. Now, the second myth as well I want to debunk, as you can see on the screen, is the myth that says only big businesses are targeted. That is a very big lie. There are several statistics that showed last year's cyber trend. It showed that smaller businesses were mostly the ones that had incidents. The bigger businesses are very difficult to crack, very difficult to hack, because they have a lot of structures, they have experience. So right now, cyber attacks are moving from the bigger businesses to the smaller businesses, the less experienced businesses. So just because your company is small doesn't mean your company cannot be a target. You can claim that I'm just highest, I'm just doing a small business, I'm not global yet, I don't have anything to fear. Believe me, the word boys are not smiling, in quotes. Boys are not smiling, boys are bumping day and day. So it doesn't matter if your business is small or it's big, the case is you are a target for every attacker. Once you can be able to remit some funds, you are a target. So small businesses currently are being attacked. So the idea of only big companies are targeted, it's a lie. The third myth I want to debunk as well is it says antivirus software can protect me from everything. Just because you have an antivirus software in your system doesn't mean that you are completely protected. Now, let me explain to you. Now, the reason why I'm saying so, you may be wondering what this means. There's a reason why I'm saying so, and I have to explain that to you. Your antivirus, first of all, is a software. And this your antivirus functions with what I would call an artificial intelligence. Okay. The artificial intelligence there is that there is a database. Okay. This your antivirus software works with a database. Now, before I talk about database, every file, every file has something that is called digital signature, or we can put it in a layman term, we can say fingerprints. So every file has, in quotes, a fingerprint. Okay, so you can tell a file not just by the name of the file, but by the signature of that file. That signature is unique to the file, is unique to the content of the file. Okay, so that's that. Now, your antivirus has a database it works with. Your attacker, or let me say an attacker, he creates a virus. The job of the antivirus is to detect malicious files and then, isolate them, discard them, reject them, uninstall them. That is the goal of your antivirus. Okay. Now, your antivirus will detect if a file is a virus or not based on the information that has been saved in its database. Your antivirus has a database, and in that database, there is a list of several files that have been flagged globally as malicious. Now, those files have been flagged as malicious, not based on the file itself by name, but based on the signature of the file, based on the behavior of the file, okay, based on the thumbprint of the file. So in this case, that database contains several file signatures that have been flagged, and they have been termed as red flag, like they've been termed as malicious. So your antivirus determines what a virus is based on that information in that database. The question is, what if your antivirus is not up to date to know about the latest viruses that have been created? Because every day we keep having new viruses. So what if your antivirus doesn't know about the latest viruses that have not been known yet or registered in its database? What will happen then? You are at risk. So your antivirus alone is not enough to protect you, because your antivirus functions on a limited knowledge. It is AI. It is not a human being that can, observe very well. It functions based on programming. And if human beings program things, that means human beings cannot see everything. There is always a loophole in what human beings do. So your antivirus is not enough to protect you. All right? Please take note of that. Unfortunately, someone can say that even though I'm using a public Wi-Fi, I can be safe if I use a VPN. That is not true. Okay, that is not true. Your VPN cannot entirely protect you. There are several people that have used VPN and their location was still discovered. So don't rely entirely on VPN. If you want to know how to remain anonymous over the network, I think in this course, if you can, in fact, register, though I will not be covering that in this training, but if you apply for the full course at LogTech, you will be given a whole lot of information about how to remain anonymous on the internet. Now, the fifth one there is I can spot phishing emails easily. Just because you went to school, okay, in quotes, pardon me, doesn't mean you can read up everything. All right. Now, what is a phishing mail? By the way, in this course, you are going to learn about how to carry out a phishing attack. Now, what phishing attack help us to do is that phishing attack grants the attacker the privilege of harvesting the login credentials of victims. So you can capture the login of someone's Facebook of someone's WhatsApp, of someone's PayPal, of someone's account. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. You can capture those login credentials and then you can log in as them. All right. Now, in this training, I will be teaching you how to achieve that. Okay, so just stay tuned for the 5 days and we'll come to that segment where you learn how to carry out a phishing attack. I mean, you can capture, you can fish out Facebook, you can fish out WhatsApp, Instagram, PayPal, Bitcoin, name them. The list is endless. I will teach you how to achieve that. Now, going on, I was saying that the idea of I can spot phishing mails easily is a lie. Why did I say so? Just because a link, maybe the ones you have seen, look suspicious, doesn't mean you are very good at detecting suspicious links. In fact, do you know that we can carry out a phishing campaign whereby you can be sent an email and the sender email address on that email is actually carrying the information of a verified email account. For example, an attacker can pose as your bank and send you an email that looks so legit. Everything is well typed. There are no mistakes, there are no misspellings, there are no grammatical errors. Everything is intact and precise. So just because you saw a few SMS that look malicious doesn't mean you are now Odogu in quotes when it comes to spotting phishing emails easily. But anyways, in this training, I will teach you several ways by which you can spot if an email or if a link is suspicious or not. I'm going to teach you how to achieve that. Going on, the next myth in cybersecurity I want us to debunk is cybersecurity is too complicated for regular people. That's a lie. You don't have to be a tech bro in quotes just to learn cybersecurity. No, anybody can learn cybersecurity. Anybody, in fact, cybersecurity is for everybody. Cybersecurity is not rocket science. Okay, cybersecurity is actually for everybody. Right now, we are going to go on a break and we'll come back in a few seconds. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. Okay, I just went for a break for questions and I observed that somebody asked a question saying, "Sir, are you saying with my VPN I can still be hacked?" The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that it depends on the VPN you are using. Okay, there are several VPNs out there, and you may think they are doing you good, but actually, they are not really doing anything. They can be easily cracked. Okay, I can give you several recommendations of good VPNs you can use. Okay, but with your VPN, you can be hacked. There's a possibility. That depends on the VPN software itself. Okay, so there are strong ones. I can recommend Nord to you. NORD is a good one to play with. Okay, that being said, by the way, going on, let's go back to our slide now. Like I was saying, that cybersecurity is not too complicated for regular people. It doesn't matter what you studied. It doesn't matter if you studied accounting, business admin, fine arts, name it. Anybody can do cybersecurity. It all depends on where you are learning and who is teaching you. And I tell you, LogTech is the best place to learn cybersecurity from scratch. It doesn't matter how bad you are towards tech or how much you don't understand numbers. It doesn't matter. Just with LogTech and how wonderful instructors, I assure you, you are good to go. So going on, the last thing I want to debunk on cybersecurity myths is data backups are unnecessary. Who told you that? Data backups are actually necessary. Many people don't have the culture of backing up their data. You must learn to do that if you want to stay safe, because there are times whereby you may not have the preamble and the opportunity to avoid some kind of attacks. For example, what I mentioned, ransomware attack. Ransomware attack can make you lose your files, okay? But if you have them backed up already, you can ensure that you are good to go. That even if you lose your files, you can always get them back, okay? So it is very important you back up your data. For example, I can just recommend something very simple for you. Google gives everyone who has a Gmail account, I think around 15 gig free, okay, storage, free storage for everybody that has a Gmail. So you can from now go out there, create a Google Drive or log into Google Drive, and then start having some important things saved on your Google Drive. You can always access it any day and any time. Okay, that's for that. So going on, we'll look at the importance of cybersecurity. Going on now, why is cybersecurity important? Number one, cybersecurity is important because we want to ensure that our data is protected. So cybersecurity is important because it ensures data protection. Our financial information and even our personal details can be secured, can be made private, or let's say can be made confidential, can be made can be made to maintain integrity, and can always be available. With cybersecurity, your data is secure. Also, cybersecurity is important because it helps us to secure our systems in the sense that we can avoid downtime, and we can also avoid financial loss. Also, cybersecurity gives everyone the edge to combat cybercrime. In our world today, in our country, cybercrime is increasing. In quotes, the Yahoo boys are not smiling, and everybody needs to get up and sit up and understand cybersecurity if you don't want to be a prey out there. Also, cybersecurity is very important because it maintains trust. When it comes to cybersecurity, example for a company, if your company has a security breach, that can tell on your company's, overall image out there. If your company cannot be relied on to have their data secured, your company with time will phase out of the market. So cybersecurity boosts a company's image, it boosts a company's trust in regards to customer relations. Okay, so cybersecurity is very, very important. And lastly, cybersecurity is important because it is everybody's responsibility, from the government down to the individual. Okay, cybersecurity is for everyone. So I would recommend cybersecurity to everyone. Everyone has to learn cybersecurity. Okay, going on. In cybersecurity, there is a key term I want us to understand, and it is called vulnerability. Now, this is a key word in cybersecurity that everyone needs to understand. What is a vulnerability? So let's find out. In cybersecurity, a vulnerability is a weakness or a flaw in a computer system or a network or even a process, all right, that can be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access to even steal data, disrupt operation, or even cause other damage. So, in other words, I would say that a vulnerability is a flaw, a weak point, okay, a loophole in a system or in a network or even an application. So, when it comes to hacking, which in this class you are going to understand as we progress, when it comes to hacking, in hacking, the attacker's joy is when he discovers a vulnerability. Hacking is not like Hollywood, where you take your PC and then you see a white guy just bouncing on his keyboard and and then he hits enter and then he says, I'm in. No, hacking is beyond that. Hacking involves you discovering a vulnerability. Hacking involves you trying to ensure that a vulnerability has been identified, and then that weakness now you can now take advantage of it. So a vulnerability is anything that can pose as a threat, that can expose us to danger. All right, so going on in ethical hacking now, what are we focusing on? Okay, since I mentioned ethical hacking, I mentioned vulnerability, so I also want to explain this concept that is called ethical hacking. By the way, in this training I am teaching us ethical hacking and not malicious hacking. When it comes to hacking, there are two phases. Number one, we have the malicious hacking, then we have the ethical hacking. Now, in ethical hacking, it's a professional skill. So, in ethical hacking, what do we do? It involves, of course, an unauthorized attempt to gain unauthorized access to a system, application, or data. I'll say it again. Ethical hacking involves an authorized attempt, okay, to gain unauthorized access to a computer system. So when it comes to breaking into a device, in ethical hacking, we are trying to break into a device, but with authority, okay, with authorized permission. We are breaking into systems, breaking into networks, into applications, into websites, not for the sake of us taking advantage of it, but the goal is that we want to, at the end of the day, identify security vulnerabilities and then resolve them. So in cybersecurity, you have to learn about ethical hacking, because ethical hacking helps you to identify vulnerabilities. Like I said, vulnerability is a flaw, a weakness. It's in ethical hacking that you understand how to identify vulnerabilities and also mitigate them. Okay, so going on, there are several common cybersecurity techniques that we can use to mitigate vulnerabilities. Number one is to patch our systems. To patch your system simply means to always update your system. Your phone, your laptop, always update. Or maybe on your PC, you can search, you can go to your Windows and search for system update. Click on the update button and it's going to get the latest update. Number two, you need to also learn to secure your networks, okay? So ensure that your networks have a good password, number one. Number two, ensure that your networks, okay, you are using a good router. There are routing devices that if you use them, they are easy to crack. So you must learn to get the right devices that can help you to stay safe on your network. Number three is ensure that your data are encrypted. If you have anything that you want to keep private, you must learn to encrypt it. In cybersecurity, it's a technique. It is called encryption. You learn how to encrypt data so that even if an attacker gets it, like it comes within the reach of an attacker, that file, they cannot open it. Even if they open, they cannot see what is inside the file. Fourthly, we are also going to learn about how to protect our devices. So in cybersecurity, we also learn to ensure that our devices are secured and protected. Also, cybersecurity as well. In cybersecurity, one of our powerful techniques is that we also learn to train employees. Example, in your company, if one person makes a mistake by clicking on a phishing link or installing a virus, that person can become the weak link of defense in that company. So even everybody in that company must learn cybersecurity. So one of the ways we maintain security is that everybody in a given company has to understand some basic cybersecurity techniques. And also MFA. MFA means multi-factor authentication. Things like two-factor authentication. Like I said, that your password is not enough. So if you learn to add things like two-factor authentication to your password, you can beef up your login security. Also learn to back up regularly and also learn to assess risks. Okay, going on. I want to say thank you very much. And by tomorrow, we are going to go into something more powerful. And that is, we are going to learn how to set up a hacking lab. So right now, if you have any question, please feel free to drop it on the comment section. Of course, I'll be glad to attend to it. So we are going to be going on and we're going to continue by tomorrow, same time by 8. Don't forget, like I said, I'll be teaching you how to set up a hacking lab. And then we'll go into hacking or ethical hacking proper. So right now, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a good evening. Good night. Thank you very much.